Hey everyone, I'm wondering if we're live. I think we might be. Is that? Oh, that's just me
Oh,
over there.
Ambush is there, so I guess we're live. Oh,
I
they
guess
were
we're there.
waiting, and
We
PC
also
was
have
waiting.
PC.
So,
Yeah. Well, welcome anybody that joins us. Today we've got Helen freaking Greene here.
hello,
Starting.
hi, internet.
And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I guess, coming out of paganism and maybe some magical thinking while we enjoy ourselves and talk and chit
Yeah,
chat.
we
I don't
did.
know.
We did have the big smoky
We
before.
did have the big smoke, yes.
We had the big
So
smoky.
we're
Yeah, we're very
which
chill, and you got
yes,
meat and I got wine, per usual, because I have a
right.
brand. I have to,
You have a brand. I do too. This is a local meadery for me. It is Black Currant Mellow Mel that I am drinking.
Ooh.
It is very nice.
I'm drinking a Syrah. I forget what brand it is because I would have to go get the bottle, and I don't want to do that
That's
right now.
okay.
I do have maple mead that my best friend, he last year he went up went all up the East Coast, and I'm from New Hampshire, so he brought me back um New Hampshire mead that I have not drunk yet because it's for fall, and I'm waiting. Last year, I usually do a Samhain/Halloween party every year, but it didn't happen last year just because of
Yeah,
circumstances. So I plan to have one this year, and then I get to have my mead. So that's my plan.
that
So
sounds amazing.
yeah. So so yeah, I was in the pagan religion for 13 years, and I was a leader in different tent. I like me and my best friend ran a local group called or the Night Star Rising. But um thank you. I like the artwork I found. I was looking up for neurodiversity artwork, and this image came up, and I really liked it, so I stole it. so
It
so
reminds me almost of, and I don't know why. I'm thinking, have you heard of a game called Senwa's Sacrifice?
I have so yes, I do have I own that game, and I wanted to get the sequel, but I don't have an Xbox.
Oh, I don't have the sequel either. I've only played the first one, but it reminds me of that. Like the beauty of it is very pretty.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't really think about it. Now I see it. So yeah. So I really like that game.
It's a good game.
It's a very good game. I really like. I still have it. I haven't played it in a couple of years because I finished it, but it's still in my library on my
Same,
PlayStation.
same. No, no judgment.
So yeah, I was in the pagan community for 13 years, and then I had started studying. I grew up Catholic, but I started studying like the pagan religion when I was like in high school. But like that was more like 1990s, the Craft and Buffy and like pop
Yep,
culture,
I did that.
understanding and
Yep.
stuff. And then when I but like because of my Catholic background and my family, I have a very close knit family, which means that they kind of know everything. So I was like, I can't really do a lot of the things I want to do. So I ended up moving down here to Florida with my ex husband, and then when him and I went through our divorce, I met my current husband, and he was floating in the pagan circles. He's always been an atheist pagan, but he definitely wanted to find community and people that share similar interests. So I started getting involved with our local pagan community. I started studying a lot. I realized early on that I didn't want to be Wiccan because it was too many rules.
Yeah,
Too many
no, I
rules.
feel you on
So I
that
was
one.
like, I'm
I
gonna
said
become
the
a
same thing.
which fits my ADHD personality perfectly. So
I didn't do the Wiccan thing. It felt like you're right, too many rules, and then you had the especially for like Alexandrian Wicca or something like that, where it's and you have to know somebody that is already Alexandrian Wiccan and be initiated and all of that. And I wanted to do my own thing.
yeah, and that's the I didn't because my best friend was trained with a bunch of different traditions, and he kind of we both had the attitude that everybody was a student, everybody's a teacher, so there was
Yeah.
it's more of like gathering of knowledge and and sharing that knowledge with other people of magical practices and histories, and I got, and like, I even still, like, when I was, it's very funny. Like, I wasn't like convinced deities existed. I thought they were more, I was very like Carl Jung, like, collective
Archetypes almost.
archetypes. Yeah. Collective
Yeah.
unconsciousness archetypes. I wasn't sure if, we went to Summerland or if we reincarnated. I wasn't sure. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. like there has to be something, but that I don't know what that something is, because I was like, okay, and I think it was because like I have this like ingrained skeptic in me that I'm just like, this isn't like, because heaven didn't make any sense to me, like that system. And
Yeah.
then, and I didn't like the more Eastern philosophies of like reincarnation. Like if you had a bad life, you might come back as like a lesser being. I'm like, that doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense, because like I didn't, like if I like, am a butthead because of circumstances, you know, maybe I don't deserve to come back as a cockroach because things are like complicated, like it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. So I was like, well, so I was like, well, maybe, and like my best friend kind of explained it like the cycle of water, like, you're water and then you're ice and then you're steam, but you're always like water, and that's how the soul works. I know it's a terrible metaphor, but
Though.
like it would transition, your soul would
Yeah.
transition depending on the lessons you learned. And then like, well, do you, and then but like I was like, okay, but like if you go to like, let's say Summerland, because it's
Yes.
not heaven as we understand it, and we also believe in reincarnation. I'm like, are you going back as yourself, or do you become like pure like truth and thought, like
Right.
what happens, and he didn't know. He's like, I don't know. he's like, I'm not really worrying about it. And I go, fair. So like that whole stuff was like very like, did you, when you were in it, did you have that sort of like, this is amorphous, I don't know what
I was Hellenic.
yeah.
So I was very focused on like Tartarus, Hades, and the Elysian Fields,
Mhm.
and what it meant to be able to go to the Elysian Fields, and then whether or not that was even a good thing, because you basically forget everything in the Elysian Fields,
Right.
and you're adrift without anything, and that also scared me, I think, a little bit.
I think like there's a part of me that wanted like heaven to be like how it was in Tolkien with the elves, like the Grey Isles. Like you just go to like this paradise and you just live there forever, and
Yeah,
like that seemed more like, and elves don't age, like so. Like it was kind of, I kind of like that idea of it,
yeah,
even if I died as an old lady, at least like, I'd be in like this beautiful afterlife, but there was like there was no judgment system. It was just like,
right.
this is where you get to spend eternity, and you're around a bunch of other cool people. And I was like, cool, I could do that. But and it's beautiful and there's no suffering, and I kind of like that idea of an afterlife. But that's like, that's like mythology. Like one of my best
Yeah.
friends that passed away, he was really into Vikings, and he wanted to go to Valhalla. He's like, I'm going to go to Valhalla. And I was like, okay. So which I also like the idea of Valhalla, but I was
Valhalla's
like, I'm
cool.
not going to
And
die in battle.
Valkyrie.
In Valkyrie, yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to die in battle, so I'm
Well,
not
that's
going
the
there.
thing. Like, how does it relate to the modern life unless we actively like join the military or something like that? And then I definitely understand if you're.
But you would
I.
have to die in bio though. Like we're not in
That's
wartime.
the
Like you
thing.
can have
That's the
lifelong
thing.
careers, and like my dad, he was in the Korean War, but he was on a Navy supply ship, so he never saw battle. He just went around to a bunch of different ports and brought supplies to people that were actually on the front lines. So it's like, okay, does that count? You're in a battle because you're
That's
fighting as
amazing.
part, you're working as part of a war. It's like doing like front work. Like
Yeah.
what is that? It wasn't the idea that, you're going to go take over France and like, and hope that you die a victorious death so you
Yeah.
can, go hang out with Odin. I'm like, what?
Have you played Skyrim
Yes,
and the
I've
whole
spent way too much time between 2011 and now playing Skyrim.
fair same.
And I
Um
did not download mods.
Love mods. Mods are fun.
Okay, so what are you talking about, Skyrim?
So yeah, what was it in Skyrim with the Nords? What was their afterlife? It's been a while.
It's kind of,
Um,
it was kind of, uh,
Sovngarde,
it's just,
sorry.
it's it is the same. I think it was it's not called Valhalla, but it's like the equivalent of like the Nords, because all the Nords
Yeah,
are Viking.
yes.
Like, and racist.
And
Like,
racist. Very racist, yes.
so um we even joke around in the house, like if we're making fun of racists. It's like, well, we're gonna. I'm like, they're all the dark elves, like, and so they're segregated. We're making fun of racism, or if we're playing like another fantasy video game and there's like a dark skin like elf creature. I'm like, oh, they're gonna go to the dark. I'm like, oh, they wouldn't be accepted. They wouldn't be a hero in Skyrim. They would be in this. They would be,
Yeah,
be in this
that's
little
true.
shit down in White Red.
That's
And
true.
so, so yeah, so like we had a bunch of people in our group that, like, example, my friend that believed. I don't know, like he didn't like 100% believe it, but like it's that feeling like this I emotionally connect with psychologically, and I wish this was true kind of thing. Because all of us were like,
Yeah,
I don't know, because we had people that were into Gardnerian witchcraft. We had
yeah,
people that were into studying, like, believed in like the Egyptian god form of witchcraft. We
yeah,
had my husband who's an atheo-pagan, and I've kind of adopted those ideas. I've like I was atheo-pagan, but I didn't know I was atheo-pagan kind of thing. Like, this is kind of where I landed. Because
What
I
is
think
an
I really wanted
Ethiopian? Could you
something
kind
to
of
be
go over
real.
that a little bit? Because I
Yeah.
don't
So
connect those.
atheo-paganism is basically you do pagan practices, but you don't believe in supernatural shit anymore. Because it is the practice of ritual, and because like all the wieldier is based on like agriculture, like
Yeah,
in like Gardnerian or Alexandrian witchcraft, if you're going by like the Celtic calendar.
yes,
um so that I can get, like, I'm like, okay, that I get. And because our ancestors lived there or died by the sun, so, and you're obviously going to create festivals, and also, like, psychologically, it helps to amorphize, like, like uh uh forces in nature. It's kind of
yes,
like Storm and X-Men at this point.
it's
Like,
true.
that it's the same idea.
Yeah,
you know you know so, and I get that. I do. And I think, like, I don't even think, because most pagans I know are very science educated. Like,
yeah,
they believe science is a thing. It's real.
yeah.
you know um so even when they say they
That's
believe in like Thor, I'm like, I don't think you like literally believe Thor has control over lightning. Like, how lightning works.
yeah.
Or if they do believe, like, it's, I don't know, like, I don't know the compartmentalization of that, because I was just like, well, I know how lightning works, and I think Thor is just a story about ancients, how to describe like how lightning works.
Yeah.
Like, it's not literal. Because like
I
most of
think
the
I
people
wanted
I
to
was
believe
involved with
that, like,
didn't
to
think
believe.
didn't think it was literal. Like, did you when you were in it, did you like talk to people that were like literally believed that, like, Thor or like other
Yeah.
movies?
I lived in Toronto though, and I was a part of like the Wiccan Church of Canada.
Mhm.
Even though I wasn't Wiccan, I would still go to their rituals and stuff like that. And I went to
Mhm.
Wiccan Fest and Harvest Fest and all the festivals.
Yeah,
Um, I am a little stoned, and I'm going to trail off into nothingness there because
it's
this is
fine.
why I don't typically do interviews because I get so nervous and I forget what I'm saying.
It's perfectly okay, because I've been doing this a while now, so I can fill your time. I'm also very good at talking. so
Nice.
so like for me, and then what's going to happen? I'll start talking, and then you'll remember what you're going to ask. So that's
Okay.
going to happen. With your answer to my question, that's what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to
Okay.
predict it. I'm sinking. so so when I was involved in that sphere, like, like, so for the atheo-pagan, like with the
Mhm.
idea of the wheel of the year being around agriculture, and like we are nature, like we are
Yeah.
not separate from it. All
No.
the same thing that is in a plant is the same thing that's in us. You know, it's just different
Yeah.
DNA and the way it's structured. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, fine, that's cool. But I like ritual. I like remembering my ancestors at Samhain and the people that
Yeah.
came before me, like family members. I think that, having certain traditions has and rituals like connects us as a species, because we we celebrate birthdays and weddings, and this is just another thing, and
True.
I call it psychologically spiritual. Like, I don't believe in anything supernatural, but the feeling of performing ritual is a spiritual experience. It's the
Yeah.
same people that have become atheists, but they really like going to church. They like connecting with their community. They like, because they may go to a very positive church, but they
Yeah.
deconstruct it and they're like, I don't really believe in God, but I want to connect with the community. And I like singing songs, and I like, being, doing the worship thing. They didn't go through like a trauma, like the traumatizing experiences, we've heard at RFR. They, like, it's been mostly positive, but they just deconstructed like the God part. I mean, like, this is silly, but I
Yeah.
like being a part of that. That's kind of what I did. I deconstructed all the supernatural stuff and go, I have no justification to believe any of this weird shit. But
Yeah.
I like doing ritual. I like having my Samhain party every year. I like having my Yule party every year. And there's certain traditions
That's
that I do. Like
awesome.
I still do the battle of the Holly and the Holly King and the Oak King every Yule. And what happens is that everybody buys insults to each other. Like, we have it's group participation, and the Holly
Yeah.
King and the Oak King get an even number of insults, and they have a verbal battle, and I do it every year because it's hilarious, and it's
Yeah.
completely secular. You don't even have to be pagan. All my friends are secular, and I still do it every year because it's too much fun.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so I think, because like I can do the fun stuff and not think like, magic is real. Like, I don't do spells anymore, but I might do symbolic rituals. Like, I think that like I did an unbaptism on Ben's channel last Halloween, and I was like, well, let's do an unbaptism, and I made it irreverent, but I also was like, this is you saying like, hey, I'm going to take back my power, and
Yeah.
I'm going to, unbaptize myself in the religion that I was raised in, because it's not, I don't have, it's for people that don't have like positive associations with their faith. And I think that can be, because when I went to Free Flow a couple of years ago, my friend Sarah, who she was a member of the Satanic Temple, and then Satanic Temple shit happened, and has been working on starting her own faction, but it's been weird. But she did she blessed everybody with Satan, basically, in the name of Satan, which was fantastic, by the way. Um, and like it would. I don't think, like, I know Noah got it done from the Scathing Atheist, and John was there, like Lisa and I
Yeah.
did, and it was great. It was so much fun, and that participation of doing ritual, um, I think is something that I think those of us people, like, not so much me, but like other people that have left faith, they're afraid of ritual because they're like, I have bad associations with this thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's more about I kind of like remember, like, it's kind of like a birthday, like, but you're putting your own thoughts, instead of like, this is something everybody does, like celebrates a birthday, unless you're part of some weird cult.
Right.
But everybody celebrates their birthday.
Yeah.
98% of the population celebrates your birthday.
Yeah.
I expect you to celebrate my birthday because your life is better because I'm in it. So thank me. so so I figure, like, if we do like a birthday thing, you can do the same thing when you're doing any sort of ritual. When as long as, like, for example,
Yeah.
um, doing like a Yule ritual. I still do it. I do a Samhain ritual, of letting go of the year past, and I said I still have people write down on a piece of paper something that um they let go of this past year, or a transition of something that was symbolic to them, that they moved in a new phase of their life, and it's coming to an end, to burn, and a
Yeah.
fire,
I
because
love that.
it's the psychological becoming physical. So
No, I really love that. I love the idea of performing that ritual for the sake of the ritual rather than for the sake of a deity actually blessing your crops or
right.
whatever. I think that's amazing. And I love the community.
Yeah, I think this is something I've done since I was pagan. Just kept doing it, because I've always enjoyed it, and we will laugh our asses off, and other times, like, we talk about, like, because, like, this is a community I've been friends with for, like, over 15 years, give or take.
Wow.
So, a lot of people don't believe anymore. Like, a couple of my friends are still in it, and it's very strange because, like, one of my she's my sister. She's my little sister. I love her. I've known her since she was 18 years old. I love this girl.
Yeah.
And she's so funny. I was over, we were playing D&D over at her house like a couple months ago, and she told
Love
me,
D&D. Sorry.
she was like, "Hey, do you still have that big obsidian sphere?" Because
Mhm.
my husband has one. And I said yes, and she's like, "Do you think I can come over and hold it in ground?" And I was like, "Well, you can," but I go, or she'll say, like, she got her like a Reiki treatment, which I don't believe in anymore. So, like, she knows I'm an atheist and an activist, but I don't think she's let go of the fact that I don't hold any sort of magical thinking
Right.
anymore. Like, I've let all that go, and but also at the same time, I don't want to be like, I've told her, like, I go, I don't really practice anymore. I go,
Yeah.
but I haven't, like, she's not in my life enough where I have to be like, hey, I don't do any magical practice. Like, I don't believe in magic at
Right.
all
Right.
anymore. You know, um, but I
I
think
don't
it's
either.
hard
Yeah.
when so because I was also her leader when we had our group and stuff. So it's and I taught her, and I kind of named her kid, because this is the weird thing, is that when she was pregnant, um I was like, no, your daughter's not that name. Her name is Emma, and she named her daughter Emma because I said so, and I was like, but it suits her. So,
So slightly deviating, did you stop like the whole magical thinking thing? That was a big thing for me to freaking come away and not think that like seeing 1111 was magical or things like that, you know?
it was gradual. I don't know when it happened. I like
Mm.
I once because what happened was I went to college and I took a bunch of psychology and philosophy classes. And
Nice.
then once I understood how we are pattern seeking creatures, this is like built into us evolution on an evolutionary, like, part of our species, the way that our brains works. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Then when I started learning what, like, cognitive bias, and our emotions tend to make decisions before our logic does, and the brain's ability to trick itself, like, it was like the slow, I call it death. I've always called it this. It's the death of a thousand cuts. Like, it was very slow.
Yeah.
And then, like, over the course, I was like, well, like, 1111. I go, is it because it's magical, or there's something in my brain that's triggering me to look at, like, because your body gets into a rhythm, like, it's, of day and night cycles. And
Yeah.
if you train your brain to look at the clock, and something psychologically happens to you to look at the clock at that time, I'm like, is
Yeah.
it external, or is it just my brain doing brain stuff? And I kind of deconstructed it that way. But but it took a little bit, because, like, remember when I was starting to deconstruct, I remember, like, watching, like, podcasts of, like, atheism podcasts and stuff like that, because for
Yeah.
some reason, like, the algorithm was like, this girl should probably benefit from atheism stuff. And I was like, okay. Because I started looking a little bit because I was
Yeah.
in college for psychology, and then like the psychology and the atheism kind of went together, and philosophy, because I was also taking
Yeah.
philosophy. So
Yeah.
they were like, here's some atheist content. And I started watching like the Bible Reloaded and like, 20 teens, like, straight white men, philosophy YouTube, because that's all there was,
That's all there was.
that's all there
Yep.
was. And then I was like, oh, well, this isn't much different than religion. Because I can remember Matt, it was Aaron. It was Aaron, because he was formerly pagan. And he
Yes.
talked about how he did the same things.
I'm
And that
sorry to
was
interrupt,
my,
Helen. I just have to take my puffer real
oh,
quick. I'm
no,
so
you're fine.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't apologize. I do not apologize for taking care of your health.
I shouldn't smoke. I have asthma,
Ah.
but
There's
edibles
many
don't
things
work.
I shouldn't do, and I do them
Yeah, I
anyway.
know.
So yeah, YOLO.
So yeah, Aaron was pagan as well, or at least like into the metaphysical and stuff. What was he? I don't remember.
I think Aaron was doing some. I think he did some like neo paganism. I know he was into satanic witchcraft for a little
Right?
bit, and then but then but even still, he didn't even think like like calling the four quarters and like paganism was
Yeah.
real. Like he thought it was just like a focal point, a thing that you do. He didn't, and also too, I didn't think it either. like I tried, like I was like maybe, but then like I was like,
I feel really bad.
I feel the more stoned
Can
I
I
was,
can I share a story with you?
yeah, please
I'm
share your
gonna
story. I love
try and
stories.
remember it.
Okay.
So
I'm
unfortunately,
also
my
going to
friend passed
I'm
away.
going to ask my husband to refill my wine, so I'm going to do that too. But you tell
Oh
your
yeah.
story. I'm listening.
So unfortunately, my friend passed away that I had known while I lived in Toronto in the pagan community. And I had since moved away, like 3, 4 hours away, and I wasn't able to go to his funeral, which was in like Quebec, and I'm in Ontario. So there was some localish people about an hour away that invited me to their coven's remembrance of him.
Hmm.
And I went, and this was my family was literally waiting in the car. They wanted me to go in, be able to do something, but this was the middle of COVID. I was paranoid of everything. And they did the circle. I cut a piece of my hair, and they did all of that. And then because I knew they were waiting in the car, I feel so
Mm.
bad, but I broke their circle and I left.
Oh, you broke the circle. Shame on you.
I I broke the circle,
You broke
Helen.
the circle. Nothing magic is that. Well, also too, the fact that it was like a public ceremony, like I would be embarrassed too. Even as an atheist, I would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck!"
Like, I'm so sorry, but I have to go, and I didn't know
It would
what
kind
to
of be like
do.
me interrupting mass. Like even though I don't
Yeah.
believe, like I would still feel like an asshole. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I'm Canadian. I feel like an asshole if I don't hold the door open for somebody.
I know, right? Like, I'm like, oh fuck! It's it was just like when it's very funny because obviously like if I was going to do ritual now, I would just be walking in and out of the circle like fucking I'm going to disturb the energy flow of
Well,
the
they
session.
put into you how important not breaking that circle
Do
is.
not, and also don't walk the wrong way in the circle. Like
Yes, not
if you're gonna do
widdershins,
Dio cell,
not
you walk Dio cells. If
yes.
you're gonna do Widdershins, you walk Widdershins.
Mhm. Mhm.
You do
Oh
not
my god.
break that at all, because it's gonna upset the energy flow, which to me means that like it's kind of a dance, like ritual is a
Yeah.
dance, and you're supposed to remember the steps. And then if you everybody's kind of in getting into like a mind state, so like you're interrupting the mind state, which I get.
Yeah.
Like I understand that on like a psychological level, but spiritually it was going to fuck up the ritual. The spell wasn't going to work, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey. Where me and my best friend after a little bit was like, well, it's discordia, like it, like whenever something like that happens, it's like it's discordia, like, you know, causing some chaos, and then we're just gonna get back
Yeah.
to it, you know. And that really, which was a way more healthy way to deal with it, because we met some people that were like I went to an OTO ritual, and they do not fuck around.
Sorry, what is OTO?
Thelmites,
Like
it's
Thelema?
Aleister Crowley's form of high magic that Alexandrian witchcraft comes from.
The
Um,
Rosicrucians?
no, the
No.
Themites. Okay, so hold on, Aleister. Let me look. Okay, Themites, the Themites. L. Ron Hubbard practiced this for no, not termites. Google. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, the OTO. Um, OTO religion. I have to do a Google because I can't remember it. So the Ordo Templi Ordinance, which was it's an occult. It's not a secret society. It's not. It used to be, not so secret anymore. This is like where like the Freemason, it's like adjacent to like Freemasons and Aleister Crowley, and also L. Ron Hubbard was a part of this,
Yeah.
and they and also okay, so Alexandrian witchcraft comes from a lot of this, because they're very, because
Yeah.
Alexandrian witchcraft is a very high ritual. Where did they get it? Got it from here. so
Right.
so and these mofos. So basically Crowley started it, and then after his death, like his followers just kept it going.
Yeah.
Um so basically it's high form of ritualized witchcraft, but there's a lot of sex.
Right?
Which is
I mean, there
fun.
is a lot of sex in a
There's a
lot
lot
of
of sex in paganism. That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
A queer
Yeah.
person, and as a feminist, I was like, well, I like
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes.
So let's put this be part of the religion. That's
Yep.
like, it's okay to fuck. Cool. I want to be part of that religion.
Especially like coming from a young earth creationist background myself, and then moving to the magical thinking of paganism. And I think I remember hearing that you were a Catholic
I was
before.
a Catholic. It was an easy jump.
It was an easy jump.
It was such an easy
I
jump,
don't.
because that's what the Catholics said. They took all the pagan shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is just Christmas, this is just Easter, this, and if
Yeah.
you, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I know all this stuff. So, and the Catholic religion is very romantic. It does the ritual, it does the incense, it is talking about, like, God's being born from virgins, which is all in paganism. It's all there. So
I've
I was
never
like, oh,
been
this
to
is like
like a
easy
mass
jump.
before.
Like,
That
but to go
sounds
from white,
interesting.
but so did you grow up like Baptist or? Uh,
Independent Baptist. Yep.
oh wow, I'm so sorry.
And I went to first just like a generic Christian school, and then I went to specifically an independent Baptist school, where we had creation science instead of like actual
I'm so
science.
sorry.
It was
So
great.
going to the
I have
Creation
so much
Museum is
knowledge of the
like
world
going
now.
back home. Like we go to Ken Ham's museum. It's like, oh, I learned all this stuff.
Well, we were supposed to be for the protest. We were supposed to be counter protested by Kent Hovind, who was one of the
I
people
hate
that
that
had me
man.
convinced of some very racist things. For one thing, I fully believed that Africa was largely undiscovered and that there could be dinosaurs there. Yeah,
Maybe, maybe not.
not so much, not so much. But I think that was part of his like DVD series number whatever. I don't know. They used to wheel
I
that in
didn't
when
find
I
out
was
about
in
Ken
school.
Hovind.
Was Kent
Like,
Hovind?
okay, I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, but like, I
Yeah,
went to Catholic school, but I had science class and religion class. They
and
were
they were
two.
separate.
They were separate.
That wasn't the
basically, like,
case for
the
me.
attitude with the Catholics is that, like, not recently, because they've started dipping into the evangelical spheres because their numbers are going down. I wonder why. Anyway, so, but when I went to Catholic school, we had science class.
Yeah,
Religion class was basically about morality, that using the stories of the Bible to talk about, how you be a good person, what God intended for his people. But like the creation story and stuff like that, that was just metaphor, because basically
yeah.
it was this idea that the early Jews didn't know how the universe. Hi Ollie.
Hi,
So
Allie.
uh didn't know like how the universe came. It was an understanding that the early Jews did not understand how the universe came into being, and this was also adopted from like the Gnostics, that, and also that we were born into an imperfect world and people were imperfect, and that the world was chaos and that was God's intention. So that's a Gnostic belief, and then the
Right.
Catholics kind of adopted that from Jews, and that the Bible is not to be taken literally. That basically the God spit the universe
Oh,
into
that's
existence.
blasphemy right there. No,
I
no,
know.
no.
That's why.
That's
That's why
blasphemy.
Christians don't think Catholics are real Christians. Like this is why, because
Did
they
you
take
believe in
this.
evolution growing up?
Yeah,
Like, was
we
that a
believed in
thing?
evolution. Yeah,
Really?
because if you remember, the early Catholic Church wasn't like Middle Ages wasn't that great to like people like
Not,
Galileo and
not so great.
Copernicus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
No.
weren't the
No.
best. And then they were like, "Oh no," because they had the power. They were like, "Oh no, this person was actually correct." And they have to adjust their thinking. So the Catholic Church definitely adopts the attitude that God spat the universe into existence and let things take its course as they should, which was this is why evolution wasn't a hard jump for me. I just took away the God part, because technically I don't know, was it a God?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Was it just nature? Maybe. We don't
Yeah.
know because we can't go before the Big Bang. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So
I
it's fine.
agree.
I just let go of the religious belief. But so that's so like young earth creationism, like Ken Hovind and Ken Ham, I knew nothing about these motherfuckers until I became an atheist. Until I started talking to people that came from these high control groups and
Yeah.
were homeschooled to believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old. And that blew my mind. I was like, what? What? What do you what? Like,
We fully believed all these things.
because I went to the Museum of Science in Boston when I was in Catholic school. But to
Really?
learn about dinosaurs. We learned about dinosaurs and we learned about ancient Egypt at the exact same time.
Like, okay, I was a horse girl growing
All
up.
right. I was
I
too.
was obsessed. And do you remember there was those books in like the 90s? They were the eyewitness books.
I didn't read those. I was Babysitters Club in the 90s.
Okay, so eyewitness was like you go to the library and your mom's like get something
Is
that's
it like those?
nonfiction.
It's not the choose your own adventure ones, are they?
No, eyewitness books would like for horses would describe the evolution of the horse,
Oh no, I did not read those. I read like
different
other forms
parts.
of like childhood evolution books.
Yeah,
I read like when I was like a little person, was like highlights magazines, which came with stickers, but it also gave you like
yeah, I
science
remember
lessons.
highlights.
And I remember like zoo books being a thing. Like I was a little old for zoo books because like I was
Yeah,
an 80s child.
I was also
But
an
I
80s
remember zoo books coming out in the 90s because like my nieces
child.
were reading those. So I remember like there was some like science, like childhood stuff I remember from like the 80s and 90s. But the eyewitness
Remember?
was not part of my young, if I was a young little person, like science shit.
Yeah.
So
Um,
you read the eyewitness ones about
I
like
read
horse
the
evolution?
eyewitness one, and the horse one was a special one for me, but I was not allowed to read the page on evolution of how,
Uh,
like, the. I don't remember any of the names of the ancient horses, but how it came to be what it looks like now, and like wild horses becoming tame horses and all of that. And It was really interesting because my mom seemed like unsure as to whether fossils were just a lie planted by Satan or if the world was in fact 6,000 years old and they just didn't survive the flood.
I would have to imagine they would how to square
There's a
that.
whole group of people that believe dinosaurs are freaking fake. I don't get it.
Which is in I don't understand.
No.
I well, and because like my dad bought me an encyclopedia. Okay, because like this was before the internet, everybody.
I loved encyclopedia. Oh my
And
gosh. Do you
my
remember when the
dad,
internet wasn't a viable thing for your bibliography in school? And they were like, don't use web pages?
oh my god, like so I didn't I when I got into college I couldn't use like Wikipedia. Like I had to use like I could
Yeah.
use Google Scholar or I would
Yeah.
have to use my university's resources, which is
Right.
fine. You know, but
Yeah.
now actually Wikipedia has so many sources there now that you can actually use Wikipedia as a source. If you're going to look up stuff about like you want to learn about carbon dating,
Well, you
go to your
can go to
Wikipedia
the
page.
footnotes and look up everything
Yeah,
there.
there's
So I
so
never
many
understand
footnotes
when
now,
people.
and then they
Yeah.
encourage people. They're like, "Hey, is this wrong? Email us. We'll correct it." Like I know
Yeah.
a bunch of people that do the wiki pages now for science education, and they're the Gorilla team that does all that work. Like Rob Palmer from RFR, he's part of that team of a bunch
Okay.
of different scientists that correct and skeptics that correct a bunch of different stuff on Wikipedia.
That's
So
awesome.
and they encourage and they put sources and they said this is where it comes from. Which I have to tell you a funny story in a little bit,
Oh,
but I'll tell you that
no.
in a minute.
Okay. I'm excited.
It's a young Earth creationist story. It's funny. so, but so like when I talk to someone that is like a young Earth creationist, like like it made more sense to me that God would just kind of poop things out and see how it would work out, and then like through like the Bible or whatever
Yeah.
teaching you want to use that those are moral stories, you know. But like also the Catholics don't read the Old Testament. We only do Gospels because the Old
Really? I'm
Testament.
like, how do you get around that whole slavery thing?
Okay, so because when because the Catholic Church is all about Jesus,
Yes.
and also Peter was the first like create it was the creator of the church, the Catholic Church, and Peter was like Jesus is like BFF. So you know they don't they count the beginning of the Catholic Church as like the beginning of what the type of Christianity you're supposed to follow, and we
Yeah.
don't really worry about the Old Testament God because also the Catholic Church is kind of anti-Semitic, and they're kind of like we're going to ignore the teaching of the Jews, which was in the
Right.
First Testament and the Torah, and we're going to focus more on this whole Jesus being Lord and Savior. He is there to write the new law, blah 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 blah. So
Right.
that is the theology of the Catholics. So, which is good if you want to ignore all the terrible things that happen in the Old Testament. Great,
Yeah.
because when you go to mass, you hear gospels. A lot of it's Paul. Paul wrote a lot of letters to the Corinthians.
Yes.
You hear a lot of those. Okay. Also, me and Sidney Davis Jr. are kind of convinced that Paul was the first incel. He was like, I can't get my dick wet, so
Oh, I like
like
that.
because he writes a lot about sexual immorality and like
Interesting.
because he even thought like if you're married, the only reason why you should have sex is because you want to make babies, not for pleasure. Like that was his whole thing, and if definitely but he thought that you should not bang at all, but if you have to, it has to be within the confines of marriage, and it has to be to make babies. Like that is the only reason why you should bang. That was his thing. And like me and Sydney were joking around. We were like, well, like he's the first incel because he was like, if I can't get my dick wet, nobody can. so so
Yes. I love that. Um,
and they made a whole
I,
religion, and that's why we have sexual, impurity culture shit because Paul couldn't get his dick wet.
Paul. Oh my
Fucking
god.
Paul, fuck that guy.
I remember, oh, in purity culture, I remember reading Song of Solomon in high school. No, I was in eighth grade. I was in eighth grade,
That is a
and I had
dirty
just
passage.
discovered Song of
Dirty,
Solomon.
dirty passage.
And what
I
was it?
I mean,
The
I will
hills of
admit,
her bosoms.
oh, like gazelles. I think there's something about gazelles and boobies. I think
Yep.
um uh there's also some suggestions of cunnilingus in some of,
Yes.
and I'm
Yes.
like, ooh. There, I watched a really good thing on the Great Courses about
Oh yeah. How was that?
sexuality in the Bible and also queerness in the Bible, and
Ooh.
it is really good because they talk about like feminists and queer culture and also gender from a biblical perspective of that time,
Interesting. Yeah.
using stories from the Bible and put it in like a historical context. I highly recommend it. It was on the Great Courses, very
The
good.
great courses. Okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
I
I
never knew if
that
the great
we
courses
me
was
and
like a valid scientific, like, or historically backed anything. So I wasn't sure if I should trust it as a source.
no, it's a thing. So
It's a thing. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's
Okay.
because they go into the historical references, and then you can, like I watched one on dark matter, because they
Ooh,
just so like they do they're doing the work. Like
the work.
you
Okay.
can like you can I think also you can go to their website and look up like where did they get their information from.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
I
highly
like that
recommend
then.
because like it's like I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't like legitimate. Like you actually are looking at this. You're talking to historians or you're talking to
Yeah.
scientists and stuff. So, it's very good. I highly recommend. So, but
That's
I watched
awesome.
anything about like
Because I've
queerness
seen.
and gender in biblical times, and it was really
Can
really
you
fascinating.
message me about that later too? Because I would like
I
to look
will.
into that.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
It was really
Cool.
good. There's some great courses episodes on YouTube and also on Amazon, I think. I can't remember. I
On
watched the
time.
gendered one. I think I watched the gendered one on Amazon, or I think it was Amazon or
Okay.
Netflix, one or the other. I watched a streaming service. It was recommended. Pretty sure it was Amazon. So
I have Amazon. That's the only
okay,
one
look
I
it up. I
have. So
think there's
I'm
some
hoping.
because I watched. I definitely. I think it was Amazon because I watched one on queer like queerness in the Bible, and I definitely watched the one on of particle physics on
Particle
Amazon.
physics is way over my head.
Okay, so even when you have a scientist that's like super smart
Yes.
and trying to explain it to a layman, my brain was just like, I don't understand this. I'm trying, and I know I'm smart. I'm a smart cookie, but I'm just like, this is too much. Um,
Yeah.
because it kind of because a lot of it's like that theoretical math that like my brain doesn't understand. Like I'm like, I know
I
what two
can't
plus
do
two
that.
is, but like you start using symbols, and I'm just like, I don't know what that is.
Yep.
I'm,
Yep.
I'm like, that
I
looks just
feel
like
that.
gobbledygook to me.
Yep.
I'm like, are you writing a sigil? Is that what you're doing? Because that looks like when you're making sigils in witchcraft. Oh, I'm hitting my green
You're
screen
gonna
is
call
hitting my
Abaddon.
wall. My green
What?
screen is hitting my wall, so I'm
Oh
trying to
no.
move my like it's banging it.
Oh, I can see it at the top. Oh no.
She's making because I was trying to adjust my chair. Okay, that's better now. See
It's better
there.
now.
I'm beautiful again.
Cool.
It's great. Am I stoned? No. Like, I'm fine.
Do you need a moment? That's
Anyway,
quite okay.
we were talking about younger creationism. Okay, so you
Yeah.
read the horse books, and you
And my
weren't
mom was
allowed.
like, somewhere between
You
it's a
can't know
lie
how
and
the horse
no.
evolved because that means that you are in league with Satan for
Yes.
wanting to learn about evolution. That's
Yes,
wild.
basically. And like they're teaching you lies at school. Like if my schooling was all over the place. So sometimes it was public school, sometimes it was generic Christian school, and sometimes it was independent Baptist school.
Ooh.
And at one point there was homeschool, which was awful.
Homeschool.
my,
Like, and
my
that's the thing.
mom,
So how long were you homeschooled for?
grade 7, that was it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So was your mom just
Um,
like, I can't do this? Like,
Basically, well, she wanted to teach me how to learn to read, and I was so adverse to it. And now you can't take the books away. Like, I've got so many damn bookshelves, it's insane. In fact, it kind of makes me think of that story where they didn't measure correctly the weight for the bookshelf of a certain library. Was it the Oxford Library? And it sinks a certain amount because of the weight of books each year.
that's amazing.
And
Husband
I
is bringing
feel
me
like
wine.
my books downstairs are going to start sinking through the floor.
Husband's bringing me
I have a
wine
bad
because
book collecting.
I love
It's
that. We only
horrible.
have a small collection of books. Like we have like 3 bookshelves worth. My roommate has like these very very big tall um bookshelves, and
Yeah.
they're filled with mostly fantasy and like sci-fi shit, and they read a
Same.
lot of fanfic, but it's still great because like if I
Yeah.
want to read any storybooks, I don't have to go to the library, I can just go in there.
I have such a huge to be read shelf. It's
I have a bunch of
insane.
books on my shelf. I also have a bunch of stuff on my like I have Audible books that I keep trying. I bought a bunch of them and I keep trying to go back to listen to them on my commute, and I don't. I end up listening to like Seth talk about like whatever
Feel
he's
you.
mad about this week for an
Yes.
hour. Like, or I listen to Brenly and
Oh,
him
I
making
love
fun of
Brentley.
I love Renly too. We used to do a podcast, I Love the Valley, together, and that's how we met. And
Oh,
then
nice.
we finally met in person a few months ago because we live in the same state. We're only like 2 hours away
Yeah.
from each other, and we knew each other for like 4 years. And I was just like, we have to hang out. So
More
I went up and
content,
got my tattoo
please.
done. I got birthday tattoos. I got a
Yeah.
xenomorph. Um, it's not the best, but I got a polysexual xenomorph. Anywho.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I got that done for my birthday. I was
That's
like, "Well, I'm gonna be
amazing.
St. Pete." So and then we got together and actually got to hang out. So, and he is a big old sweet potato, and also a great
He
hugger.
is.
He is
Is he? I've not met him in person. I've
he
met
is
some
such
other
a
very
like
cool
he is
people,
a
though.
big old sweet potato. I introduced him to my friends, and then we sat together for at a gay bar in St. Petersburg because that's what you do. We just talked about
I have
like
never been to a
making
gay bar.
content and talk about our experiences in like the atheist activist circles.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I've
he's a
never
wonderful
been to a
human
gay
being.
bar.
I have to say, like everybody I have made friends with in this community have been the most like wonderful people.
Mhm.
I'm also
I agree.
um I'm starting to make new friends since I started my channel, which is great. I have Captain Dabhole on next week. I
Oh,
haven't
amazing.
actually ever talked to him.
I
I
don't know
know
him personally,
I don't know
no.
him personally, but I put a thing out. I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for guests," and he was like, "I would love to be on your channel," and I was like, "Awesome!"
That's
So
so
yeah,
cool.
so that was really nice. And like you reaching out to me and stuff, it's like really nice because I get to meet like
Yeah,
really awesome, like very caring, like skeptics and atheists and activists,
yeah.
and just like yay. But the fact that you're a former pagan makes it like super special because like I don't
Really? Because
there's
I was
not
so
a
excited to
lot of
talk to you
us.
about it,
There's
honestly.
not there is not a lot of former pagans.
No.
Like everybody know it's like ex evangelical Baptist Catholic.
Yes,
Um, I know Chris, he's a former Scientologist. Like I know people that and like paganism is its own unique thing because it's not like it's a religion. It's recognized by the United
it
States.
is.
You
Yeah,
can get it on like if you're a Wiccan, you can get a 5 point star on your grave. You can, and it can be on your dog tax and whatever. Um,
yeah.
so it's great. Um, and I think that's great. I'm all for pluralism. I am, but
But
we're unique because we don't proselytize. Pagans don't proselytize.
no,
We don't recruit. Would they?
right?
I'm saying we. Like I'm still in it. like,
We
but
we
like
are
we
still in it. We're
don't. And
somewhat.
it's always going to be there. Like, I'm an atheist
Wait, what is
pagan.
it they tell the Christians? They're like, oh, well, you were never truly a Christian. You were never truly a pagan, Helen.
I'm still a pagan. I'm just, I'm,
And
I'm
that's what
still
I
a pagan.
love. I
I'm like,
love the
at
idea
least
of
I
your,
can prove nature exists. Like,
yes,
go outside.
that's so true.
Oh my god, you don't have to go outside. If you have a wooden desk, I can prove to you nature exists.
My wooden desk is covered in mushroom wallpaper.
Mine is covered in a black veneer paint that is chipping. So that's mine. Yeah. But it's a very good heavy desk. But like I think the manufacturer painted it black, and because it's older, it's just seen
Yeah.
some shit. Like so it's just been very
This is my
scratched.
craft room. I'm a miniature artist, so I do like little
Oh yeah,
dioramas and stuff.
you and John can like and Kelly can make little miniatures together. Like I don't have my
Nice.
ADHD brain will not.
I
Like,
went fossil hunting with Kelly.
I'm jealous. I'm
Like,
in Kelly. It's all Kelly's fault that I'm part of this fucking community. Because like, okay, during COVID, okay, during the plague times, I started
yeah,
hanging out on. I'm sorry, guys, if you wanted a coherent narrative to this interview, it's not happening.
that's okay. I'm about to smoke.
So there you go. You get an ADHD person and a stone people together.
Stoner
It's
girl.
chaos. So okay, so Kelly. Okay, it's all Kelly's fault. It's all Kelly's fault
Yes,
because we met. I joined the atheist community of Austin's Discord during the playtimes. Okay,
yes,
and
yes.
Kelly and I, like, we hit it off immediately. Like, he was a former pagan. Um, we were both like kind of like hippie, like, drug, like, like fun drug culture, like, and I was, cause like I was like, I'm definitely an atheist. Like, I'm like, this was like, I had come to the end of the journey. I was like, I'm like, I have, like, this is all BS. And also, I'm lonely because I wasn't working anymore, because I just ended a job as a project manager at the psychic university, where we promoted psychics and taught people how to
Tell
be
me
medium.
about that at some
Okay, well,
point.
I'll tell you that story in a second.
Wow.
So, and then because of that, I was like, he was like, hey, you should get involved in the atheist community. So I started volunteering with Recovering from Religion, and then I started volunteering for the ACA, and now you have this.
It went the other way for me. First was ACA, and then was recovering from religion.
So yeah, because that was like, because I saw Dr. Ray on a ACA episode, and then I liked what they were doing because I've always volunteered. I volunteered since I was a Girl Scout, and then I started, like, I was a candy striper when I was like 13, 14 years old, and ever since then I've done some kind of volunteer work all my life.
So
And I
cool.
was like, well, I'm not working anymore right now because like
Yeah.
it's playtime, and I want to do something productive with my time other than playing Skyrim and like hanging out on
There is
watching
nothing
YouTube
wrong with that.
videos. So I was like, I'll do something productive. And then, because of all the skills I built up through the ACA and recovering from religion, I started my podcast, and it's kind of grown from there. So, and I'm still now trying to get involved in local politics because of it's a whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was going to tell your story about working at the second university. Okay, this is still a
Yes.
thing, everybody. It's still a thing. I'll pull up the website. I did an article for Skeptical Inquirer about my
Ooh.
experiences there. So
I have copies of that.
yeah, it is. It's a thing. Oh my god. So if you put in just put in Skeptical Inquirer my name, the article will come up. I will. So anyway, so
Drop it in chat if you
if you
want.
put the Spirit University into your Google search and put Sarasota, Florida, that's where I worked. So
Ooh.
this was when I was coming to the tail end of my belief system,
Yeah.
and I was looking for a job. And I've worked in public relations, I've worked in marketing, I've worked as a project manager. So I was like, oh, I could. And I had left one job and I was looking for a new one. So this was like 2017. And so I was like, I'm going to play this place. And because of my experience, I got my job. I can tell you, this was the final nail in the coffin.
Oh no.
Because once you're behind the scene and you're not seeing like these basically John Edward types,
Yep.
some people genuinely did believe that they had psychic
Some
powers.
people do. Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
like I thought I could read auras like at some point. So
I
like I
did
get
too.
it, you know,
I
but I
did too.
wasn't, but I also wasn't trying to carry it as a grift because like I didn't feel it.
No.
I had a
There's a
problem with like,
separation there.
I think there was this thing from being a Catholic, like I didn't think spirituality should be mixed with monetary gains. Like I thought
Yeah.
that they should be separate. Like the like morally, I was like, why would any if it's a spiritual thing, why are we concerned with like capitalism?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. You know, like I would do Reiki on people, but
Oh
also
no.
too. But let me
Oh
explain. But
no.
also, I had when I worked at the Spirit University, I would do
Yes.
Reiki, but I would also say this is a relaxation technique. If for any reason that you feel you actually have something wrong, please go to a doctor. Because I
You
am
said
not a
that?
medical professional. I
Yeah.
would never diagnose. I basically said that like what I would say like if like because we are creatures that are constantly stressed out, we don't rest. And if you can get like where you're just deep breathing and have someone's weighing their fingers over you and
Yes.
encouraging you to focus on your body, if you feel something is wrong, that like your parasympathetic nervous system is like masking, you should probably maybe go see a doctor.
Yes.
So that was kind of like my kind of way of looking at Reiki. Like I didn't actually think it was healing anything. um I did think I was aligning your chakras. That I did think I could do.
Really?
I thought you had a chakra
Yeah.
line that I could align.
There was so much woo. My mom was into like iridology. Do you know what that one
What is
is?
iridology? No, I haven't heard this one.
Oh my god. So she actually went to school for this,
Oh,
and so she had like
I'm a Reiki
textbooks.
master. I have a certificate, Jess.
I love
Anyway.
that. I love that. So
I'm
she had
also
all
a
these
third degree
techniques and
Wiccan.
everything.
I have I'm third degree.
Did you know?
So okay, so what is iridology? I want to know what
So basically, it's like chiropractic, only everything's in your eye. So you have to examine people's eyes. And if they have like a ring of brown around the iris, it means that they're constipated and we should be prescribing more constipation medication for them.
but okay,
Because apparently
hold
that
on.
only
Wait.
happens when you gotta poop.
What if you have brown eyes?
I never got answers to that. If I'm honest,
like
I
like
stopped
I
paying
have green
attention
eyes.
after the poop thing.
Like because I have questions now because I have green eyes and then I have like
Is there like a little line of like hazel or brown
yeah,
in
I
there?
have a little like, and especially if,
So many
depending on if
people.
I wear more stuff on the gold line of clothing,
Yeah.
like I'm a winter, so I look better in silvers, but and jewel
Yes.
tones. But if I wear like gold tone clothing, like those gold flecks, the hazel flecks in my eyes come out,
Yeah.
because color theory.
Well, color theory is
And
one
also
thing,
too,
but
I
then
have
believing
black
that it's
around my
the
eyes. So if you have brown around your eyes, but I have like you have the same thing where we both have green eyes and you have that black, part of your iris. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean
I don't
what?
know.
I
She
have
was a
questions.
master
I have
herbalist
so
and an
many questions.
iridologist. She was going to go to school for reflexology as well. That was a whole thing.
I never.
Um,
That's one thing I never ever believed in
no,
was
really.
the right pseudo homeopathy stuff. Like my parents were very much like, "You're sick, you go to a doctor. You're sick, you go to a doctor. You do not like. There's nothing spiritually wrong with you. That if you're
Oh
having like a
my.
physical ailment, you go to a doctor."
My
Um,
mom thought that shark fin could cure
and
cancer.
I think it's because my parents were older and they remember
Yeah.
polio.
I
And
had an uncle with polio, for goodness sakes. He was
so
a
like
pester.
like my parents were like vaccines, 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 vaccines. Like because my dad, like like my mom is very Catholic, and my father was like he believed in God, but he didn't believe in religion. But he definitely believed in science because
Yeah.
he was the one that would like we would watch Cosmos and like nature programs on PBS when I was a
Oh,
child.
I'm
Like
jealous.
so that was my dad. Like we
Yeah.
definitely like between like school, like my Catholic school upbringing, that was like basically the Catholic part was the moral part,
Yeah.
science and the realm of like the natural world was
Yeah.
science. It wasn't, and science told you, hey, you have this disease, and
Yeah.
we have like my dad was very much like about the COVID thing. He's like, get a vaccine. He's like, did you get your vaccine? Like my parents were, my dad was asking me when the vaccine came out for my age group. He's like, you gonna, I'm like, yes, dad, I'm gonna get a vaccine. like like he was the type of like so it's very like so like having
Interesting.
so okay,
Yeah.
that was not okay, so we're talking about COVID, but I'm gonna go bring this back to work in the spirit
No, we're
universe.
good. I love
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna bring it back around. So welcome to side tangents. Anyway, so I was a part of, so I applied for this job,
Yeah.
and um we did Reiki classes. We did how to be a medium, how to read the tarot. I did a whole series
I
on
love
paganism.
tarot.
I did a
That is,
whole class series on paganism where I was just basically like, hey, this is a religion based on nature. Also
yeah.
I use so much humor and being like, well, we're not sure if you're actually talking to a deity, but there's so many cultures that have deities, and they're usually aligned to
You
like
were already skeptical, though.
I was already starting there but I was using it as like a foci, like a thing that
Yeah.
people believe, because like, and I got people there, and like my best friend came and he would help me because we had done this together, and I go I don't know if your rock's going to help you like focus, but I definitely know that like, people have like, if you're tactile, like touching things, helps calm people down, so
Yeah.
so, like I was definitely applying a lot of my psychology education to
I love that.
it. So, okay, but I can tell you it's a grift because once you see people doing cold readings and hot
Yeah.
readings, you cannot unsee it because
No.
also you are
Yeah.
not dealing with like the public face, like you are dealing with their managers, you are
Yes.
dealing with PR people, you are dealing with like certain things that you can and cannot say about them. If you're going to advertise them on your website and in your promotional materials, certain things you can and cannot say,
Yeah.
and you have to sign contracts that I would read and I would have to present to my boss, and also my boss was a medium.
I knew so many mediums. Oh my
So many
gosh.
um also a bit of a narcissist, and I still have a little bit of trauma from working there because she would love bomb, and there was definitely some manipulative things going on when I worked there.
Yeah.
Um, so not the best person. But
Yeah.
that was the end because once you're the veneers off, you're not seeing them through this like YouTube or like learning channel or whatever like veneer. You're now
Yeah.
the television veneer. You're just seeing the person and all the things that go into it. You're just
And
like
then the
this
mirrors
person
break
doing a
behind
grip.
you as you have a realization. Yeah.
Yeah, like there was one guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he is a purple paper psychic. So basically he would have people, okay, this is wild. He
Okay.
would so he would get these papers of people, like he would say that he was channeling, information
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
something. Okay. So he would say like a young white male, 20 years old, dies in a motorcycle accident in May of 1979 and has it from Ohio or from Idaho or Iowa or like a Midwestern state. So you have to
I mean, that's
broad.
fairly specific. That sounds like hot reading.
Well, no, what he would do is that when people would sign up for classes, they would say, like, who do you want to talk to? You know, what are certain signs we should be looking for? And they would feed information. And then he would just write a bunch of shit on a piece of paper. And he would pretend that this
Peter
was
Papa?
psychically, no, it's not that. I forget his name. He was, and also he was trained as an actor. And he,
Really?
yeah, and he also used to like play music and stuff, like because music has an emotional resonance. It doesn't speak to the logic,
Yeah.
it speaks to our emotional sides of our psyche. And basically emotionally manipulate people. And these people are already believers. And me and my coworker Riley remember sitting in that gallery going, "This is all bullshit. This is bullshit." And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm done. There is no magic anywhere. Nobody has psychic powers. Nobody's talking to the dead. Nobody knows anything about the future. It is all
Yeah.
conjecture. And there's some people that honestly believe that they can convince themselves that they can talk to the dead. One of them, I think, is the sweetest lady in the world.
Yeah.
Wouldn't harm anybody. A fantastic artist. Also believes that she is a medium. Love her to death, though. Love her to death. She was one of the
Yeah.
nicest, kindest people I ever met in my life. And then I meet other people that I want to take like, you know, I want to stab them the
Yes.
sewing
Yes.
needle. Like they're
Knitting
like
needles.
I
Knitting
know.
needles are
I'm like, I
great for
know
that.
that you know that you're lying.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because I
knew.
remember one guy, I was sitting in a gallery and he started
Yeah.
talking. I had a friend that died in it was more of a friend of my husband, but I knew him that died in a motorcycle accident.
Hmm.
And this particular medium said, "Has anyone ever had someone that died in a motorcycle?" Nobody answered, but I did.
Right.
And then he tries to start describing my friend, but I'm not giving him responses. I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to say something recognizable. And I go,
Yeah.
no,
Like,
no, no. All he knew that I had a male in my life that
yeah.
wasn't even that close to me. It was closer to my husband that died in a motorcycle accident. And he was trying to draw stuff out of me, and I go, well, I don't know where he was born. I'm like, this was someone my husband used to hang out with, like when he used before he met me.
Yeah.
And like he had a bunch of friends when he was like in his 30s hanging out at Starbucks, you know, like a group of people that we still kind of know from living in the area that we do,
Yeah.
that he would just hang out with. And he was part of that crew, you know, and they had bonded, but he wasn't like a deep friend. He was a friend. And I known him
Yeah.
a couple times, so it was like an acquaintance through my husband. Like, and but they'll latch on to things like that, you know, and kind of carry it over. And I think that is as people want to believe. They are all molders. They're like, I want to believe this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch that when I was growing up, though.
X-Files is the best show.
I was surprised they let me watch Xena.
Xena, well, that's because it's Greek mythology and that's all the fake mythology. Like, it's not like,
Excuse me, that was what led me to Hellenism.
right?
Yes, it was Xena. It was Xena
I
all along.
listen, my queer little, like, you know,
Right?
teenager self with like Lucy Lawless, and you know, and then they definitely leaned into the lesbianism with her and Gabrielle, like in later
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're banging. Those two are banging, and they are life partners. Don't tell me otherwise.
Subtext. It was always like in the
I
groups
mean, they be
on
like in a hot tub
online.
naked together, like, you know, and I'm like, listen, I'm like, I don't have an issue being naked in front of my girlfriends, but if we're in a hot tub together, I'm putting on a bathing suit if we're not sleeping together. Like, that's just polite.
There was a really nice okay, so one year I went to Wiccan Fest in Ontario,
Mhm.
and it's just field and camping. Well, one thing, I arrived and my friend had already been there for several days, and I don't think she knew that she was allergic to mosquito bites because they were each that big.
Oh.
Yeah. Um, but
Oh
I
no.
don't know where I was going with Wiccanfest.
We were talking about lesbians. But
Oh
like,
yeah, there was a clothing optional beach there, and it didn't matter what age you were. Everyone was just jumping in the swimming hole, and I thought that was pretty amazing.
not last year, but the year before that I went to the first RFR excursion, we had these
Yeah,
really great cabins that we had rented. They were so great. The price went up, so we ended up at a different location last year. But we had
yeah,
naked hot tub time, which is basically like if you were in the upper inner circles of RFR,
yeah.
everybody was naked, and you're just hanging out in a hot tub with other RFR members. Um,
That
I
is some tea
uh,
right there. That's
but but
interesting.
but literally, you're just it was us just drinking, joking around, just naked in a hot tub. Like
Well, that sounds like a
that's all
great
it was.
time.
There was nothing sexual going on. It was just all of
Well,
us just being like, "We are
yeah,
friends. You can be naked in front of me, and it's not weird."
I love that. I
And I
love
think that's
everything
great.
like
Like,
that.
because it was one of those experiences that, like, I can name several people that have seen my boobs at RFR. Several people.
I mean, the same
I've
could be
seen my
said when I
titties.
was pagan,
Yeah,
because
like, oh
everything.
my god, like, they're like, I was more comfortable being naked in front of, like, my RFR people than I ever
Yeah,
been in front of, like, even my best friend for 20 years, who is a gay man and gay as fuck. No, actually, he did a new photo shoot for me, because I gave pictures to my husband, um,
yeah,
and he did a bunch of photos for me, but he's the only
yeah.
person out of my current friend group locally that I'm like, you can see me naked. I'm okay with that. And that was only one time. And not since. And we've hung out, we've gone to pagan festivals together. We are like, this, ride or die bitches. And
I
I'm
love
so
that.
like, you cannot see, you've seen my tits once and you cannot, you cannot see me again. You are,
Yes.
and also too, because he's like my brother. Like we're that close. Like we're like family more than like. But like
I
my RFRP, I don't know. It's a completely different experience. I
I
think.
I honestly feel that way after the protest and meeting some of my friends that I've known for however
Yeah,
long at this point in person, and we got a cabin, and there was a hot tub and a fire pit and everything. Only one person used the hot tub though. We were too stressed at one point for the protest, and then everybody was just talking the rest of the time. There was some really amazing conversations that
yeah.
happened, and I think we should have recorded it because
That's gonna
Kelly
like
just showed up.
no. Now you gave me an idea because it's going to be a bunch of us at a cabin for a weekend. It's going to be like Cara, myself, Kelly, Eli,
For the
uh,
back cruise?
Tracy. Yeah, Tracy. Because there's a bunch of people coming from out of state.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kelly told me he's going for the back cruise.
Yeah, I'm so excited because Kelly, like me and Kelly and I are like this. Like he is one
I
of my
don't know
favorite
him that
people.
well, but he stayed
He
with
is
us and it
one of the
was
most wonderful
fantastic.
people in this community, and he is
Yeah.
just like I love that man so much. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Like he is my atheist guru. so,
He brought
the
me some
fact that we're
eucalyptus.
gonna hang out for a whole weekend and I get to like hug him and like I'm getting teary eyed. Like I'm so excited.
Can you give him a hug from me too?
I will.
Because I
I will give him
honestly
all the
miss
hugs.
him.
I'm so fucking excited because he is like the real deal. Like he is the
Yes.
most generally soft-hearted, like big old teddy bear, like weird funny uncle, like that I consider that he is, that I love him so much
Yeah.
that I'm so excited that I get to spend like a week with him. Like that's the most, other than seeing being with Car, because her and me and them are like, BFS, is
I
Kelly.
don't know Cara personally. They've helped me with some stuff with RFR, like getting reimbursed for stuff, but that was about the extent
Because
of
we
my.
we developed such a long relationship doing RFRX together that
Yeah.
even though I've left recovering from religion, the American branch, like we are still Like we have together.
Her seems amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're amazing human beings. I am so like fucking like lack of a better word, blessed. With the people.
You are surrounded by amazing
I
people.
have such amazing people, but like the fact, but you were talking about amazing conversations. I'm like, I'm deeply curious, like when we're all like very drunk and stoned, like hanging
Yeah.
out on Saturday because like we're coming on a Friday. Some people are going to be at the studio for Truth Wanted on Friday,
Yeah.
and then Saturday is like the whole day. And then there's back cruise,
Oh
and
my
then
god.
ACA shit on like and then at the studio on Sunday. But the thing is though, there's gonna be plenty of time for all of us to
Yeah.
get really fucked up.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
I
Friday
am
night.
so
Because a
jealous.
lot of people are gonna be arriving on Friday, may not go to studio on Friday.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna be at the Airbnb we're gonna rent, and we picked a place with a pool because everybody was like, "I want the pool."
Yes. Yes.
I'm kind of like, we're renting out the Airbnb. We don't have to go out drinking. We can just all go to the Airbnb
Yes.
and we'll
That's
do
what we
it there.
did. It
And
was
like we can all
amazing.
hang out over there. Like that's kind
Yep.
of where I'm like, hey, let's just. I'm like, we're all here to see each other anyway. Like, yes, I want to see Austin. I've never been to Austin, but the whole point of me going is to see
Yeah.
all these motherfuckers that I've been working with for
Yes.
5 years. That I'm just
Yeah.
like, I want to see you drunk.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I
like that's the best
if
time. It's the best
if I
time.
had planned better, maybe he would have let me carpool with him. But he's going somewhere else and then carpooling with someone else. I don't remember. He told
So
me
he's
yesterday.
going. So Kelly is going to meet Scott and Eli, and then the three of
Yes.
them are going to drive down from because the three of them are on the way.
Mhm.
Um, I'm very mad at Cynthia that she is not coming.
I
I'm
haven't met Cynthia.
Cynthia is an amazing. I love Cynthia. Like we've been
I
doing
have been
that.
told that Cynthia likes Star Trek, and I am
She,
therefore
yeah,
very excited to meet
she's
her.
a bigger Star Trek nerd than I am, and that's kind of amazing. But she's not as big a Lord of the Rings fan as I am, so yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's a rivalry.
okay.
It's a rivalry because they're completely different fandoms.
Okay.
Anyway, but like if she like Star Trek trivia, talk to Cynthia. If you want to know Tolkien trivia, talk to me.
Okay. Good to know.
D&D trivia too. Oh my god, Ollie, I'm starting my Ollie will appreciate this. Ollie, I
Yes.
am starting my apocalypse test run of the D&D campaign I am with my tabletop, and I'm probably going to try to run it on Ben's Twitch channel this fall. I wrote a whole okay, so for those of you that are like, what's she talking
Ollie's
about?
trying to give me directions while I'm stoned. Oh my gosh.
Picking me up at the
So you're
airport,
picking up Neil, and then you're gonna go to Sarnia Thursday evening. Okay. I won't be there till
I'm
Friday.
so mad. Like people are going to BajaCon. I want to go to NanoCon. Like
I want to go to Nano.
I had Jason and a few other people and a bunch of other people in the Canadian sphere. Like, listen, all you Canadian
Hi,
motherfuckers.
Dave.
One, I don't know if I can get into Canada because I live in the United States and it's hell right now. It's
I'm
terrible.
dating
I don't
somebody
know if
that
I
lives
can
in
get a
Michigan.
passport.
I'm back and forth.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if I could get into Canada.
Do you have a passport?
I have to renew mine. It's been a while because I don't go out of state for like I live in fucking Florida. When I lived in New
Yeah.
Hampshire and
Yeah.
Canada was only a 6-hour drive to Quebec, that was easy because like my mom's from Quebec, so
How
it was a
long is
very
it to Florida? I don't even know. I've never
okay.
been to
So
Florida.
from Florida to if you were gonna drive
I
from
live near Detroit.
okay, so if you're
I
gonna
live
drive
near
from
Detroit.
okay, so let me explain it. Okay,
Yeah.
let me explain. Okay, if you're gonna drive from like if you're gonna drive from Quebec City, okay, which
Okay.
is southern Canada, okay,
Yeah.
down to let me do this is better because I'll add 6 hours.
Okay.
Let me do math. Okay,
Sure.
if you're gonna drive from Manchester, New Hampshire, which is 4 hours from Quebec City, 6 hours from Montreal. Okay, so we're
Okay.
gonna do math. Okay, so we're talking about like southern Quebec.
Where do you
Okay?
cross?
But so we're like, I'm going to talk about like New England. I grew up in New England.
Okay.
From southern New Hampshire to Florida, it's
Yes.
23 hours.
23 freaking
If you're gonna
hours.
drive, 3 hours if you fly.
Okay, it's like that long to get across Ontario, though. To be
Like, yeah,
fair.
you're because it's 1,000 miles. It's 1,000 miles from top to the bottom. I started reading D&D just a few years. I'm based on the TV is the Highlander.
The
Okay,
main
that's
character is the Highlander.
awesome. See, Ollie and
You're
I
doing
used to
a
play.
Highlander one?
See, Ollie and I used to play
Not in
D&D
any
together.
games right now, and I would love to be.
Ollie, we're gonna Ollie, you and I are gonna like at some point. Oh wait, 2025, 2026. New Year's resolution. Ollie, you and I are going to play D&D together again for 2026 because I had to run this campaign and I said I was going to run the Apocalypse campaign on Ben's channel and I asked to do it for spooky season because my Apocalypse stuff has a lot of horror involved because if you're going into an Apocalypse storyline, like I did 4 archangels based, like the 4 archangels I based on 4
Yeah.
D&D gods, and I took like 4 of the 4 horsemen and based it on D&D devils, and I had a whole thing with like I made a whole thing because what happened was it's 20 hours for me to get in London. Another okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Sarnia. Okay. I don't have anywhere to stay from Thursday to Friday unless I just stay at my house and see you Friday. That's
Or you can
I
just
don't
bunk.
I don't know.
You can tell
But
people,
we
okay,
smoked
guys, do
together
you have
last
a
year. That was awesome.
couch? Do you have a couch? Fine, someone will give you a couch.
In Sarnia, though, that's an hour away. I could
I
just
don't
see
know
them
where
the next
Sarnia
day.
is. I don't I don't
It's
know
just
the
an hour.
provinces.
It's not that far.
I don't know
That's
the provinces. I know Quebec. I know where because I know where Tres Rivers is. I know where I know where Montreal is, and I know where Quebec City is because that's where most of my family's from. My mom's from,
okay.
so that's where I spent a lot of my childhood. Um, as a full-grown adult, I have never been to a other province of Canada. Um, but though
You
I
should
have
get
been
your
told,
passport renewed, and I will take you fossil hunting.
okay, well, this is the thing because like Steve, our friend Steve from our
Yeah, yeah,
far,
yeah.
him and I are we love the fuck out of each other, like because
He's
he also
amazing. I'm
he has
supposed
been
to
he
review his
is
book.
one
Don't
his
tell
book.
him I
Okay,
haven't
you have to
read
buy
it
his book, internet.
yet.
But he is one of those people that make my heart like all like
Oh yeah.
joyous, and like he also gives the best hugs. Also is a good rapper and dancer. I have seen that.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did a version of Ice Ice Baby, Chef's Kiss, live at an excursion.
I
I
go to the
was
Sunday assembly sometimes. I'm gonna bring that up next
You
time.
should. You be like, you need to tell him when you're at BajaCon, if
Yes.
you have a karaoke night, you are going to go up to Steven and said, Helen told me that you do an amazing version of Ice Ice Baby,
We're
and I
not
want
doing
to see it.
karaoke this year. We're doing board games, and they're doing
Okay.
they're interviewing some podcasters. Like
Yeah, so like it was funny because Jason was on Jason Freer was on my channel promoting BajaCon,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and they were like, we're gonna do a content creator panel, and I said, can I live stream in? They're like, no. And I was like, but if you need somebody to live stream in, I'll talk about being a content
That's
creator
awesome.
because I can't.
Ollie, I have all of those. Do you want me to bring anything else? I have D&D
Oh my
Clue,
god,
I
I
have
love
Munchkin,
Guillotine.
and I
I
have
love
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Guillotine's an amazing game,
I
and
love that
especially in the
game.
current political climate, you get to
I
decapitate the
know,
wealthy.
it's so satisfying to come on our
It is.
self.
I love it.
I just whenever I think of that game, I think of the martyr, like this blonde
Yeah.
woman, like
Yes. I like when you get the card that ignores the fact that they're gray cards,
yeah.
so that you can get the martyrs.
I know, it's so great. Like
Yes.
I have that game. I played it. I started playing it like when it first came out, like
Yeah.
over 20 years ago, because I was
Yeah,
married
I've
to
had
my
it for a
ex-husband.
while.
It came out before I had my kids, and my kids started playing it after they got a little bit older, and we started doing like group games together. So like that game is like it is the best game. But so funny story about my apocalypse game. So, Sherry from Recovering from Religion, she is the president of the Australian chapter.
Oh, okay.
Her and
Okay.
I love her to death. We're like, she's another one person that I'm I would do war crimes for her. Like, like
Oh,
I love the shit out of her. So we every so often we will drink wine and get very drunk, and we
yes.
will it'll be like this, but it's private, like a stream, and we'll just
Yeah.
should talk to each, because they're in Australia, I'm over here. We only see each other, once in a while.
Yeah.
So I was like, and she's a former Jehovah's Witness, and I was like,
That
"Hey,
that I
Sherry,
don't. So many people
okay,
are, and I don't understand
I
so many
don't like
things
to
of.
have religion." So I said to her, because I've known Jehovah's Witnesses in my life, but it's a
Me
like
too.
I know what it is, but it's kind of one of those things that, like, it's like, even compared to like traditional religion, it is so extreme that I'm just like, you
Yes,
don't even celebrate birthdays or Christmas. Like, that's
I
weird.
remember that.
like
There was
like
some Jehovah's Witnesses that lived a
anniversaries,
couple doors
nothing,
down from me.
So we were hanging out.
Yeah.
Now she's living her best life. She is a pansexual and a poly relationship, like, experience all the things that she's always wanted to
Also
experience.
Polly, by the way.
Getting into kink, like,
Yeah.
having this wonderful, very much a very strong activist,
Yes.
talking about her experiences, talking about her religious trauma, trying to help people, like amazing, wonderful, like, and she's
Yeah.
like I love her to death. So we were getting very intoxicated, and I said to her, I was like, Sherry, where does the 144,000, come from in Jehovah's Witness? And she goes, it's in chapter 14 of Revelations. It's in chapter 12, by the way. I found that out. And I
Okay.
started to read it, and I'm very stoned and very drunk at the time. And I'm like, huh. And when I started, I'm like, oh my God, this reads like a D&D campaign. And then I was like, and I wrote a whole campaign.
I
Um,
love
over the
that.
like based on Revelations, and I'm gonna run it. I'm starting it with my local D&D friends, and then
Yeah.
I asked Ben, because I was talking to Ben. I was like, I really like. I told him about it, and he was like, "Oh, that'd be cool." And he has his own Twitch stream, because I'm not. That's too much for me. I said,
My girlfriend has her own Twitch as well, and I still
"Yeah,
don't understand how Twitch works.
I don't. I think, because I'm old. Like, I don't game.
I don't think you.
It's like I
Wait,
game.
wait.
What?
How old are you?
I'm 48.
Okay. Because I also grew up in the 80s, and you said you grew up in the 80s, and I felt like maybe we're around the same age. I'm 40.
Okay, well, you're in the same. I was born in '77, so, like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and also
84.
I have very good skin. So,
Same.
yeah, thank you. This is what happens when you're a vampire.
I was so into vampires. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God,
In high
if you
school,
were
that
like
was
a
the
goth,
thing.
you don't go in the sun. Like, I'm pale. Everybody's like, you live in Florida. I'm like, yeah, I live in Florida. I don't like vacation in Florida.
Right?
Like, I go to work, and then when I go home, I'm like, I'm not going outside because the sun is hot. And
I
I'm
freckle, so I selectively tan, but
I
mostly burn.
like I had skin poisoning when I was I had so when I was 8 years old, we were in Barbados,
Oh
and
wow.
I got skin poisoning, second degree burns from the sun.
Yeah,
And I've had a couple other severe sunburns in my life that I'm
I've
just
met
basically
you.
like,
Yeah.
no, I don't. I live here, but I don't go in the sun.
Yeah.
Why I'm so pale? I'm a vampire. I
This
don't.
is an attic. I
This
don't leave it
I'm
very frequently.
French, German, Irish,
Yep.
Scottish.
Yep.
I'm all the white people. All of
I am
Europe.
also all of the white people. Yeah.
I did my 23andMe. All white people. Like, I think
You did.
the only
I
thing
am
that I mean,
so interested. What did it tell you you were any percentage of Neanderthalensis?
I'm oh, it did. I just do I remember I can tell you. Just give me a second with my Neanderthalness. I think it's one of my friends is like really up there. Like he has like the Neanderthal ridge in his brow.
Oh,
One of my friends, but I'm not that high. But I'm up there. Let me pull it up on my app. I'll tell you my percentages.
okay. That's amazing.
It's so interesting. Like they went bankrupt, and like I don't have my paid subscription anymore because my kid, um, they're like, "Mom, I'm gonna do your DNA," and I was like, "Cool." It is very interesting though.
It is. I
I've gotten
love
into
that.
conversations when I've done TikToks about, and I'm talking to younger creationists, and I'm like, "Well, I've gotten my 23andMe done, and I
Yeah,
actually know my holotype that came out of Africa that I belong to. That's
really.
thousands and thousands and thousands of years old when we
That's cool.
evolved. So it's a helio group that I belong to that evolved out of Africa from our early ancestors. And I'm like,
Yeah.
please explain how that is fake. I would like to hear your explanation because all I did was, and they were able, but because they will,
Yeah.
because they're also able to say, like, because I'm a white person, that I come from a European background. So why is that real versus like your helio group is fake?
Oh my gosh. Then we get into like race as a um almost like a cultural structure or a
Because it's
it,
all helio group. Like it's from black. It's like it's from the people. Like because how race isn't a thing. We just happen to move
oh,
into a climate, and over time we lost the pigmentation of blackness because
yes.
we didn't need to be protected from the sun as much because it's colder.
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
so
That is one of the things that I looked into actually fairly recently. I was like, why are white people? And I went down the rabbit hole of how we managed to continue to exist with this.
because well, and like I keep joking around, I'll joke around with Cynthia. I'm like, listen, I'm like, I'm better than you because I have less melanin and I have a different hair texture. I'm better than you. That's how we know. Because it's all stupid. And I'm like, this is
It's so
dumb.
stupid.
Like, because your ancestors developed in a different part of the world than my
Yeah.
ancestors. Duh.
And
It's all
I go
so
to Chat GPT
stupid.
sometimes and I put in things like why we have like the skin and the hair texture that we do, and I didn't even understand to the extent that there's so many different genes that make up blue eyes, for example.
Right.
I thought that was just like, oh, the gene of blue eyes. No, there's different things all through everything that contribute to that, and I've learned that everything is just very, very complicated, and I am stupid.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm not, but still.
I'm 99.9% European. I appreciate this.
Okay.
Mostly Balkan and Irish and
It sounded like you said Vulcan there, and I
Balkan.
was
I'm from the Balkan Islands.
I
French and
figured.
German, and I was just broadly Northwestern European. Like I appreciate that about this, and I'm 0.3% Sardarian, so that's like,
What does that mean? I don't know that one.
and I'm also 8.7% Spanish and Portuguese.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. Sardinian is a part of Italy.
A
So,
part of which, sorry?
but because like my dad's side is from
Sorry, Helen,
Albania,
I didn't
and
hear
that's
you. A
in the
part of
same
which?
what?
I didn't hear what you had said. A part of which?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Sardinian is
Part
a
of
part of
Italy.
Italy. It's an island, like that's kind of off the coast of Italy, but it's Italian because my dad's side is from Albania, and our ancestors are from Greece. So just put it all together.
Okay.
So
I
that
don't
my
mean to
dad's
put
side,
myself down. It's a bad habit. I
don't
know.
put
I
yourself down.
understand.
Don't
I
do that.
know.
I don't. Because it's not good. You're a wonderful human being. Don't put yourself down.
Okay.
You're beautiful, so don't do it.
Okay.
Like I say that I say like I'm a walking embarrassment, but I also have gray hair. So you like
I mean, fair
if you're gonna
for
say like this is the rule, like if you're gonna like kind of make fun of yourself, also give yourself a compliment. Like I am a walking embarrassment, but I have great hair.
I also have great hair. I do.
And also you're a wonderful, kind human being, and you should also give yourself credit for that. And you're also beautiful. Also, should give
Okay, you
yourself
can come back anytime.
Listen, there's enough negativity in the world, and I'm not going to spread
That's
it.
true.
And
That's
also, I don't
true.
say things that aren't true. So, okay. So I'm trying to figure out my Neanderthal. I'm so
Yeah.
stoned right now. Like navigating my app is so hard right now. Like how
I,
much? Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
yes, no stress.
I'll find it. Hold on. I'll find out. I will know my Neanderthalness.
We only have 20 more minutes, though, says our streaming system here.
I'll find
That's
out. Like, if
okay.
not, I will text it to you later.
That's fine.
We'll go to my channel. We'll go to my channel. I have I can live stream on my channel. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it. I'll look it up later. I'm too stoned.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
I do I know it's like around 30%, which is about the average of most people like in the general population. Um, some people have higher. It's very interesting because like once you look at that and like once you just peel everything back, you're just like everything is fucking arbitrary.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
is. And like I'm just like I don't understand why like me being like I understand it like because of a colonialism, but that's culture. That is not saying somebody's worth based on like why am I more valued? I mean, also too, I'm
Yeah.
also a woman, so that's so sexism. So I'm not as valued. Like I had one of my one of my friends who is a black male and gay, and he goes,
Yeah.
I would rather be a black male and gay than be a white woman. And I was like, and he was like, because of feminism, I mean
Yeah.
sexism, you face a different sort of challenge. At least as a male, I'm considered even within my own community
Yeah.
in a position of authority, but also women in the black community also face a lot of discrimination
I was
within
gonna
our own
say why,
community.
but I guess my question is why white specifically? Because
No,
wouldn't
because I think like he was trying to recognize that like it was more he said like being white like it doesn't afford you as a woman as much privilege. Like you get a little bit more because like the idea that male is the default. Like in his
yeah
experience, he's talking about his personal experiences. I'm not like talking about like anything as a general population. He was talking about in his personal experiences. He has seen more discrimination happen to women of any color than men. And I was
yeah
like, that's an interesting conversation. Like, cause I was just, cause me, I'm just like, because of my privilege, I was
yes
like, you know, I always thought that someone that was black is going to experience more difficulty than me as a white person. And then he
yeah
was like, I'm very glad I was born with a penis. And I was like, oh, that's and that was another conversation that was one of those things that I was just like, something I didn't consider because it's not my
yeah
experience. And I think it depends on where you are Democrat because he also lives in DC area, then that's a very black dominated
yeah
area versus where I live, which is white dominated.
yeah.
So the social circles that you run in are going to be different, and how people are treated debate based on where you are.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
would
another
love
thing
to
that
do
we have to
some
take
sort
into
of deep
consideration.
dive into race and shit, I'm losing it. I had a good thing.
I found
Um
you'll get it. I'm waiting.
freaking you had said we were talking about race and gender.
Yeah.
just I would love to see the intersectionalities of race and gender, and if anybody actually has any book recommendations on that.
Yeah, that's another thing I find very like fascinating as us as like a species, because like there's so many lives that and experiences that I will never experience.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he said that to me, I was like, huh. Because like I have, but also I recognize that I'm in a white dominated community.
Yeah.
Most of the older people, like most of the community that I float around in are older people.
Yeah.
So in the recent events that I've gone to for like the No Kings protests and stuff like that, a lot of progressive old people, queer people, like
Really?
old queers is the best thing ever. Like, it is, and they're like, this is all a bunch of bullshit. Everything's bullshit, which is really great to see. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because my county voted red, but
Yeah.
there have been so many people that are just like, this is bad. It's really bad,
It's
and they're
opposite for Canada, so I have to switch it
yeah.
because red for us is liberal, and blue is the Tories or the Conservatives. So I have to always switch it in my brain.
I'm trying to remember who I talked to. I talked to another Canadian,
Yes.
and we had a conversation about like why Canada is still fairly liberal, and my and I think it's because, and also too, sorry, this is my theory. I can't prove it, but this is my theory. Like a lot of new conservatives that are popping up in Canada are like writing our conservative narrative. It hasn't been a part of our culture since like the 60s. Like your culture
Yeah.
since the 60s. Like the 50s and
Yeah.
60s with the Red Scare, and then the civil rights movement, and then the gay rights movement, like socially,
Yeah.
and then the sort of like, evangelical, like John Wayne sort of narrative that's been fed to us as like Americans.
Yeah.
Your culture, the conservatives are trying, but but they can't take hold the same way it does here, because it hasn't been embedded in the
Yeah.
consciousness as it's been embedded here.
I
And
think
I
some
think that's
stuff's
why,
going to go on with Alberta, though, because they are a
yeah.
very conservative province. And the fact that somebody gave up his job so that Pierre Poilievre could run in that riding. Mind blown. That I don't, but why?
I think also too, there's also like this American elitism, like we're supposed to be the greatest nation. We're not. We suck. like compared to other nations as far as equality, what
Mhm.
we're doing for our citizenship, we blow balls. Because
Yeah.
all of our achievements has been based on like having a very powerful military and also controlling a lot of the market.
Yeah.
So like that's where the power comes from. It doesn't actually come from what you're doing as like what you're doing best, what is best for your populace.
Yeah.
If you looked at that, you would look at like, Denmark or Sweden. European, mostly secular humanist countries tend to do better overall for their citizenship. Hi, trees. Hi, honey.
Hey, trees.
So
Trees gave me a fossil once, and I will always remember that.
I met trees through Ben on his channel, and then
Oh,
like
nice.
we've just all infested each other. I'm terrible though. I don't watch a lot of other people's content. I
I
just
do. I watch a lot of content.
I don't. I tend like okay, like because I think I've been in this sphere for so long that I love like listen, all you motherfuckers, I love you as people, and I
Yes.
will support your content and I will share it while I watch it now, because
Yeah.
I only got so many hours in the day, and when I
I
want to
feel
get
that
home,
though.
I want to play
I
Silent
try.
Hill. I want to drink wine and play Silent Hill and get laid. Like that's all I want to do. I do not like
Which
because I also
Silent Hill?
I love Silent Hill.
Which one? Which one? Which one?
I'm playing two. I'm playing the.
I've
I'm
only ever
playing.
played The Room.
No, no, no. Oh, girl. Okay, let me. You need to down. Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
We can talk more after too. Don't feel like
I'm
we
just gonna
have to
tell
include
you,
everything.
like as a 90s 2002 PlayStation 2 person that played the first game of
Yeah.
the first release of Silent Hill 2, which is the game that kind of launched the franchise.
Yeah.
That game, it's so fucking good that I spent $60 buying the remake, and I have a PS subscription and I always wait for games to be free.
Did you like the movie?
I did like the movie. I did like the original, the first movie. It's not the best horror movie, but I did
It's not,
kind of like
no,
it.
not the best horror movie, but it makes, yeah, Trees knows. Trees
Mhm.
already knows what I'm gonna say. We need to go to Centralia and take some freaking cool pictures.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. Like it's so
Yeah.
good. This the like I love this the second game. It's so dark, but it's so psychological because like my
You should
horror.
stream. I would watch it if you streamed.
Oh, okay. Like, well, the thing is, though, I don't have it on my stream. I have it on my PS5, which I
Oh,
don't. I would have to buy it on Steam to stream it.
that's,
But like,
yeah.
okay, as like, okay, like, horror is my favorite genre. It is my,
Horror.
it is horror and close second is sci-fi. I like
Love
action,
sci-fi too.
fine. Comedy, fine. Fantasy, fine. Usually, if it's a Ghibli movie,
I love Studio Ghibli
I love it. I love
too.
Ghibli. The Boy and the Heron. If you have not seen it, oh my god, I bought it.
Have
His latest
Boy
movie
and the Heron? No, I haven't. Have you
is.
seen? There's one that rings of Ghibli, but is not Ghibli, called Letters to Momo.
I
Have you
have not
seen
seen
it?
that one.
If you like Ghibli, there's a
Oh,
good chance you would like this
Your
movie.
Name. It's not a Ghibli movie, but it
Oh, I
brings
like
Ghibli.
your, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I've seen
love
that.
that movie. Like
It's
that
a good
movie,
movie.
it's a Ghibli-esque movie, but not Ghibli.
Yes, yes, for
Yeah,
sure, for
but
sure.
it made me cry. I was like, like I was having like crying like a fucking
I have
5-year-old.
never watched Grave of the Fireflies though.
I
That
will
has
not watch that because my oldest, they were like, "Mom,
yeah.
you cannot watch that movie because they know me and I cry at everything." I'm like, "This is going to traumatize you
I
because you."
figured for
And
myself the same.
they're like, "Don't watch it. Don't watch
Yeah,
it." Because I watch
yeah.
the children, the two wolf children one, and which is
That
also a
sounds
Ghibli
vaguely
movie,
familiar.
Wolf Children. Oh,
Okay,
oh,
it's
that's
good.
all about like trauma within parental systems and trying to deal with like it deals with generational trauma of
Yeah,
getting like being like basically being handled a child with special needs and not knowing what to do, and but
my
also
brother
like
has cerebral
really
palsy.
loving
That's
your
really
child,
interesting.
like loving your children, but you don't know what you're doing, and it is heartbreaking. um
Yeah.
and it did stuff to me. So I then when they were like, "Don't watch Grave of the Fireflies, it's not a good time," and I was like, "No."
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
feel
let's talk
that.
about generational. But like Silent Hill is kind of one of those games that like if you are a psychological horror fan,
I do like
it is
psychological
the
horror.
perfect game.
Okay.
It's so good. Like I'm doing the remake now. But I have to play with like with my kid and my roommate and taught her home. Like I can't play by
Yeah.
myself because when I originally played it was back in like 2002 when it first came out, and I would just sit in the dark and I would play it and scare the shit out of myself.
I
And
was
now
gonna
I'm
say I don't think I could
now
do that
it's
in the
socially
dark, not by
experience.
myself.
Experience. It's kind of like
Yeah.
playing Outlast. Like if you've ever played Outlast, that game will shoot. Outlast 2, especially if you're come from a cult background and you play Outlast 2.
I
Holy
haven't.
fuck.
Is this a PlayStation game? I haven't
The
played it.
PlayStation game. Oh my god, this
Yeah.
game is so scary. Like, okay, like these game Outlast is some of the most scariest survival horror genre games out there. Like, because there's no fighting. You either run, you can run, you have to run
Yeah.
away, or you're going to die.
Oh.
You cannot fight. You have to run and hide.
Oh.
That is the
Quit watching MASH.
and there is some shit in like the first Outlast game takes place in an insane asylum, so
Yeah.
like, but the second one is based all on cults, religious cults, and it is fucked up, so fucked up. Harmony,
Um,
no,
I've heard of Gummo, but I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't heard of Gummo.
I've seen like the trailer for it. We could watch it
I don't
later.
know what that is.
It's an older horror movie, like
Oh, okay. Is it
2000.
Harmony Korine? Have you
Please
are
enlighten
you
us.
side note, have you looked at like uh uh Junie Ito's work?
Actually, my boyfriend's daughter lent me. I
We
haven't
have
read it
all.
yet, but it's on the to be
Oh
read
my
list.
god. Oh my god, I love him. I love him.
He's so good. I've seen the like his
Netflix
show is very
did
good.
some of Netflix has a series of some of his short films based. Is it Netflix or Amazon? One or the other. They both
Yeah,
actually both have them. But I have all three. My oldest got me into the manga because, like, luckily for my wonderful children, I wasn't into Japanese stuff up until they got into high school, and then they introduced me to the world of Asian horror, and I was just like,
ooh,
oh, because like I there's something very seductive for me
yeah,
about like Japanese horror because it speaks to ancient generational trauma.
yeah,
Um because a lot of it is their ghost stories where like modern like because
we
we're
have
like in the United
5 minutes, by the way.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I will stop talking about horror
No,
movies.
no, I feel bad. We Joe and I used to pay for.
You can come on my channel and we'll do a stream on my channel, and I don't have a limit.
Could we do it another day? I've got to put the
No,
kiddo to
I'm going to
bed.
bed because it's almost 10.
Okay,
But
okay,
we'll plan for you to come on my channel, and then we
sure.
can continue and just have a conversation about bullshit because that's because
That would be
like
amazing.
usually there's a topic when I do my channel, but like last time Ellie was on, I was like, wait, and Ellie and I have been friends for a very long time. I was like, what you want to talk about? And I was like, well, we'll just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I love that.
I will have you on my channel come September.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. So anyway, highly recommend. I will you and I will talk in chat and we'll talk
Yes,
about our love of horror shit. And I will
yes,
send we'll exchange shit.
that sounds good. Where can people find you? Say all of your Free Thought Fireside.
Okay, so if you want to find me, you
Yeah.
can just put in my name, Helen Greene, with an E on the end. Just put atheist. My stupid face will show up. But if you want to specifically look at my content, I have a channel called Freethinker Fireside. My motto is I'm putting the human in humanists, one cozy chat at a time. So basically, I have people that are in this space, like, and it doesn't have to be technically an atheist. Like, you could be a progressive Christian and you care about, like, equal rights and having like important conversations. If you are a humanist and believe in the betterment of human beings, you
Yeah.
can be on my show. So please go check out me there. This, like, tomorrow I have Jonathan Rondabush from the ACA is going to be on tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to be accountable in the political climate that we are, even when our government is not. Which is, so we're gonna have a conversation about that. Captain
Yeah.
Dabful's gonna be on next week. Um,
Okay.
so I have wonderful, wonderful people in the atheist, skeptic, progressive community.
Yeah.
I have on my show. Like Jess will eventually be on my show. Gonna make it a thing. So that's gonna be a thing. I also do the nonprofits with the atheist community of Austin. I am so I've been doing that for a while. Um, our videos just got uploaded from the last few episodes I did are finally up. That was like 2 weeks ago because we did not have an editor, which brings me to, hey, do you want to get involved in the atheist community? Hey, do you not want to be on the camera, but you have talented on editing and doing video content and shit. You can volunteer for Recovering from Religion, and we're always looking for those people too, and the
Yeah.
Atheist Community of Austin. Both websites, atheist-community.org has a application for volunteers, and recoveringfromreligion.org also has a application for volunteers. So do that as well. So yeah, that's it. I did some shilling.
You did amazing. Oh my gosh. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. It was amazing having Helen here, and all of the conversation was amazing. I will see you all another time.
All right. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.